Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Так.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So
Hello.
32. Hello. People are coming. Mhm. Okay, let's start our class. I believe that it's high time to do that. So, as usual, I will start with mood checkers. So, I will offer you some questions. So, there will be five, not more. And you will need to react by showing your thumbs up. But for this, you will have to show your faces, or by showing your thumbs down. In case if you're not sure, just show me like these signs. Yeah, not sure, have doubts. Okay, are you feeling energized? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or not sure? Olena Harlan. So, was among the first. Lenchka, could you please comment? So, why aren't you feeling energized right now?
I did not feel energized. I just got very sick, so
That's the reason. So then I wish you soon recovery. Yeah. So
thank
still,
you.
I believe that you will be with us and you'll be participating. Did you have a good beginning of the day, or perhaps even a good day today? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Oh, not sure. Елизавета Бойко. So, could you please share what made your day?
Today is very good weather, very sunny and warm, and it made my day better.
Okay, so thank you for sharing. Then, how do you find today's topic interesting? Because today we are going, as far as you've understood, to work with vocabulary. Do you find our today's topic interesting? So many people are showing these thumbs up. I will start with Marina Ivanova, if she doesn't mind. Marina, are you with us?
I find today's topic really exciting and interesting because vocabulary is a crucial part of learning language, and many students find it especially difficult to learn new words. And I am eager to know new methods, effective strategies.
Thank you. So hope so you will just like hope that all your expectations, yeah, so will be met. So okay, then do you consider knowing a lot in the field? In other words, do you feel like you already know a lot in the field? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or not sure? Okay, Dasha. So you've shown your thumb up. So could you please share?
I did it by accident, if I'm
Yes.
honest.
So it means that you still lack a lot. Yes, still lack a lot, or there is still room for improvement.
Oh,
Mhm. I've seen some other people like Alina Soroka. Yeah, so we're showing a kind of sign that shows or indicates that you are not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I know something. Yeah, sure thing. But at the same time, I feel a bit anxious when I plan my lessons that are focused on vocabulary. So that's why I'm eager to know something new today.
Okay, so thanks a lot. And the last question, are you eager to acquire new knowledge and cascade it? Are you eager to acquire new knowledge and share it? Аліна, Олена, Елізавета, Маріна, Марія, Галина. Okay, Galina. So, what are you expecting more, or what are you waiting for more, for acquiring something new, or are you like that kind of person who likes to share your knowledge, cascade the knowledge to others? What are you for?
so of course, I'd like to acquire some knowledge. I believe that I will find something new in this session, maybe some new approaches or just activities for teaching vocabulary. But perhaps I can share something, so I will see if I have an opportunity and it will be suitable. So why not?
Okay, who are you going to share your knowledge with, if it's not secret?
And I don't know, maybe we will have any discussions about.
Okay, you mean discussions here? Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
have some discussions here.
in this
I'm
session.
talking about kind of that situation after the class. Are you going to share your
Well,
knowledge with
yeah, I
someone?
see. Yeah, I misunderstood a bit. So I'm a teacher at school now, and I also a private tutor. So I I have a lot of opportunities to share my knowledge. That's why I want to improve my methods and in general my skills. So I believe that I will find out something new, and then in my lessons I will be able to implement it and share my knowledge with students.
So perfect. So thank you. So I see that quite a lot of you are eager to acquire something new, because whenever you attend the seminars, sessions, workshops of the kind, so you're always waiting for some practical tips for you to take them, or some material for you to take, borrow it and apply it. Yeah. So in your context and with your students. So in case if you checked your Telegram group right now, I've sent the link there. Yeah. Could you please so click on that link and you'll be redirected to the page with a poll. I don't know if you are familiar with this kind of poll. It's called Poll Everywhere. Just tell me if it's active and if it works. Poll Everywhere. By the way, so have you found the link? First question. Do all of you see the link in our chat? Perfect. Then, so click on that and just tell me if it works, if it's active.
To me, it doesn't.
It doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah, it
Doesn't it work?
For registration.
It works, but we need to register.
Oh, okay. So it asks you for getting registered, or there is also the option skip it for now. Do you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
Skip it. Yeah, skip it. And tell me what you'll see next. I believe that so it will be open to you.
We have question number one.
Yeah, there will be only one question with multiple replies. By the way, you are allowed to choose as many as you feel so is true about you. Yeah, just pick up or choose, click on all those items that you consider to be true about yourselves. So, yeah, it shows that only two people are done. I will wait for the rest. Okay, Sophia Покритько, it seems to me that you are talking not only with us. Okay, 9 people are done. Still, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for more people to finish.
Sorry, I have error.
Yeah,
It
me
said
too.
that it has reached the maximum number of responses.
Oh my God. So it promised that so up to 100 people so would be able to participate. And I see that just 17 surveys are completed. Sorry, these are some technical issues. Okay, so at least I believe that we will understand the general tendency even by so looking at the screen right now. So just wait a moment. I will share my screen with you and start presenting that. Okay. Just a moment. Up. Okay, sorry. That should be another slide. What's going on, I wonder? Doesn't. Okay. So now it works. Now it works. Okay. So let us analyze the general tendency. So here you can see all those suggested answers to the question. So does that, or does that, I mean that content apply to you, or do these statements apply to you? So I see that 25% Like correlate with this statement, I prefer learning lexical chunks rather than isolated words. Okay, so just like the top score was given to this statement. Let us provide a bit of a commenting. Why do you consider it better to work with lexical chunks rather than with isolated words? What is the rationale behind it? Any comments?
For me, it's like easier for not only for children, but also for me when I learn something new, to understand it better in the content, not just in a simple word.
In the context, yeah. So even if we deal with language systems, yeah, so it doesn't mean that they should be learned in isolation. So thank you. It seems to me that it was Alina, or who was talking right now? Sorry, I didn't see that.
It's me, Lera.
Lerchka. So Ler, thank you. Alina, so I see your hand raised. Any comments from you?
Yeah. So actually, I try to use as many chunks as possible because it helps to understand context better, and to know how to use them properly. Because isolated words, they just work in our mind and that's it. Like for a game, let's play words. Yeah. But to use them, we need chunks, I think. And it really contributes to fluency, as I believe, and even speed of thinking,
Yeah, definitely. Then, top 2 statement chosen by you is, I use CCQs to be aware my students understand the meaning of the word. Any comments from you? Why you consider it to be essential, highly effective, why it should be done? Людмила Шаврова.
Okay. When we give them new words and they can like confused with someone with some words, and we have to ask them for the meanings of the word, because sometimes they can use these words in a wrong way. They can say something differently and you understand differently, but in their mind it would be like different from L1.
You mean that at times our students keep on nodding their heads in case if you keep on asking, is everything clear? Just because they are too embarrassed to confess or to admit that they do not actually understand what's going on. Yeah? Is it true?
They can like, oh, I wait for a break, I wanna buy pizza, and they just skip this part of the lesson.
So their minds are preoccupied with some other activities or some other thoughts. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, then 15. So I'm looking for like the highest percentage. So we always review vocabulary the learners have stored. Why is it essential to review the vocabulary? So to have enough practice. Olena Kravets.
According to some statistics, we need to come across the word like, I don't remember how many times, but sometimes to know it. So that's why it's important to review vocabulary in different ways, so the students use the words naturally without thinking.
Thank you. Absolutely agree with you. Yeah. So of course, like so learning some new vocabulary item or grammar structure, so shouldn't be equal just to pure drilling. Yeah. So meaningless drilling. It should be so, but that should be meaningful practice, and so there should be enough revision for your students to have the image of this word, so they kind of like see the word inside their hands. They have this visual image inside their heads, and if it's on their mind, they will keep on remembering and using that not just today, but so they will turn these words into their active vocabulary items. Okay, and here I see one interesting thing. So when being asked if you pin up vocabulary posters on the walls of the classroom, just like 5% of you so admitted to like doing that. So the least number of people so agreed to it. Why? Why do you think it happened? Don't you consider it to be essential to provide your students with some visual images on the walls, Alina?
Actually, to be honest, maybe because mostly all of us work online, but still I heard one idea from my friend that she's a teacher too. And she told me that sometimes she tries to pin up messages in Telegram to notice their students, like to put like kind of notification for them to see new words. I think it's like super cool idea, but I have no time for all my students to do so. But still, I think that maybe different Telegram bots can help us. So they can be created automatically or with ChatGPT usage, and then students can see the words 3 times a day and remember it.
Okay, perfect. And so it seems to me that perhaps like the statement two, I pin up vocabulary, maybe that it correlates with I encourage learners to put new words in groups, clines, or spidergrams. So what is a cline? It's kind of like line, yeah? Kind of chronological line, for example, where you place the words depending on some shades of meaning that are added to the word, yeah? For you to recollect, perhaps some of you do not understand what's this. That's why I'm going to explain it. That's what cline stands for. So perhaps like these two correlate with each other, and as Alina has already mentioned that most of you work as private teachers, online teachers, so it's far more essential for you to put the words in groups or spidergrams, so using some Educaplay or, for example, a Quizlet or any other platforms, rather than just pin vocabulary posters on the walls. And we have Helena with your hand raised. Any comments from you, Helena?
Yeah, I'd like to add one more reason why not a lot of people chose the second option. For example, personally, I work at school offline, but there are TVs or movie projectors in classes. And as a result, we can show presentations and show these pictures in online version. So we don't use posters on the blackboard or on the wall.
So yeah, instead
that's
you use
why
a lot
people didn't choose
use
it.
a lot of digital tools, for example,
Yeah.
a lot of projectors in the classroom. That's why, so it's absolutely unnecessary nowadays, kind of like outdated thing. And if talking about translation, so the last question for us to discuss before we proceed to another activity. So is it essential to provide your students with a translation of the word? What do you think of it? Is it essential to provide that translation of the words that you work on? Okay, Lera.
I think it depends on these words. If these words are not so difficult to understand it using some pictures, for example, it would be better to do it, not just to translate all the simple words, maybe.
Okay, so if the words are simple, that's absolutely unnecessary. But if we're talking about some abstract, for example, concepts, then perhaps that will be necessary. Tatiana Rybnicka, so any comments?
I try to use this option so rarely because it's the easiest way, and as usual, learners don't need to think at all. They are waiting for the teacher explanation. But just when the teacher teach learners about thinking, about building logical connections, like build the house of stones, they understand they can't rely on someone. They need to think and go deep into the information.
Yeah, so they are like small kids waiting for the mom to bring something tasty to them. Yeah, so they are eager and waiting for something tasty, and sometimes they even don't want to rack their brains, so in order to think. Yeah, Afruza. Nice to see you here.
Hello.
Hello.
I think that when a learner is a beginner, it is very helpful to give the translation of the words. But when the learner is more advanced, it is very, it will be more. It will be better to give a definition in English language.
To provide with the definition, so yeah, so like explanation in the context rather than so just give that translation in case if it can be replaced by something better, yeah. Okay, Maria, so yeah, so let us
Yeah,
listen.
actually almost the same idea, just giving also some synonyms or maybe antonyms, just to explain these words, if we had such an opportunity.
Perfect. So thank you. So I see that you do know a lot. And now let us so proceed to another question of mine. So here you'll be asked to share your opinion, yeah, so to share your experience. And the question that comes here sounds like, what do you think it means to know a word? So as we are talking today about about lexis, vocabulary, lexical competence in general, yeah. So what do you what do you as teachers understand by knowing a word? When can you say that, for example, my learner or my learners definitely know a word? So I'm waiting for some comments from you. You'll be given up to 3 minutes, like 3 minutes, that's maximum. Yeah. So leave comments here and then we'll proceed to working with them.
Sorry to interrupt. So that's comments in the chat, yeah?
So, oh my God, yeah. So thank you, Alina. So I've forgotten, yeah. So to attach it here, perhaps like if it's better, if it works better. So I will leave it in our so chat in Telegram. Yeah. Do you see it now? Do you have it now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we already have 4 replies because I have some statistics on my phone. Okay. A minute more. Okay, I can start commenting. So, students can use it in speech in the correct form and meaning recognized while listening or reading. So, knowing a word means that they know the form, meaning of the word, and can use it while dealing with receptive skills, yeah, while developing their receptive skills. It's when you know the translation, can use it in your speech and understand, to be able to recognize, spell, use a word, understanding, then recognizing, understand usage, be aware, know the meaning, recognition, meaning, pronunciation, spelling, usage, then contextual understanding. Katya Berezhna, so many nice ideas. Could you please provide me with with the comments on contextual understanding? So what in your meaning or in your understanding stands for contextual understanding?
Yes, contextual understanding, when you know when and where to use it, including formal or informal settings in this way.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so all those of you who mentioned that it's the ability to understand and recognize the word. Okay, just let us stop here and analyze it once again. So in case if we can just understand and recognize the word, is it about so active or passive vocabulary? If we can just understand and recognize.
It's passive.
Passive. When we start using that, yeah, that's about our active vocabulary minimum. Okay, we have some comment here. Yeah. So thanks a lot. Then knowing a word means to be able to use it in speech, knowing meaning, pronunciation, recognizing fluent use. Yeah, that's what I appreciate the most. When you use it fluently, only then can we tell that, so you definitely know the word, the form, phonetic, usage, collocations, thank you. Different shades of meaning, usage in the sentence together with other words, usage in the written and oral speech, understanding in context. Okay, then out of what you've suggested, what you've written here, so I can come to a conclusion that most of you associate knowing a word with knowing its meaning, form, pronunciation, because that's what we talked about during the previous class of ours. But it also, so it also should presuppose knowing different collocations, lexical sets, and whatnot. And the usage of this word not in the isolated but rather speech, but rather in the context. Okay, right now we will work a bit in breakout rooms. I will offer you.
Anna Yurina, sorry, could you unmute yourself?
Okay, thank you for mentioning. Yeah, so now I see that I muted myself. I will repeat it. So on my slide, you can see the task that is associated with truly understanding, recognizing, so and knowing the word. So that deals with the true knowledge of the word. Now in our group chat, I will provide you with the link to this slide. To this slide. What will you need to do? With your teammates, you will have to analyze the suggested sentences. There are currently 6 of them. Each of these sentences contains a vocabulary error. You are to find it or identify it. That's step number 1. You need to suggest a correct alternative. And then think of what caused the problem. Perhaps it was like the problem with collocation or with the register. What is register? What is the synonym to the word register? It's style, yeah? Colligation, or the way the word is combined with all the rest in the context. Connotation or shade of meaning, yeah? You'll need to identify what caused the problem. Mind, please, that one of these aspects can be repeated a couple of times. Okay, what do you need to do right now? Let us check it if it's clear. So, Katya Berezhna, could you please tell me what you need to do in breakout rooms?
Well, we should look at these sentences, find out a vocabulary error, and suggest some correct alternative, and explain shade of meaning.
Yeah, so, and what caused the problem? Yeah, right, you are.
Yeah, and what caused.
Okay, so so I've provided you with the access to this slide, and right now in groups of yours, you will work for Yulia Yurina. It seems to me that 5 minutes will be enough for them. So we will work for 5 minutes. So, and you'll need to clarify where the problems are and how to improve on them. Okay, keep on working with slide 1. Okay, as far as I can see, the task appeared to be more complex than I expected it to be. So that's why I believe that we will discuss quite a lot of issues right now in plenary, yeah? So that will be quite reasonable, so to do it. Okay, I cannot move it. Just a moment. So once again, so let us recollect what you were to do. You were not only to identify the problem, but so think of what caused the problem. Let's start with the first sentence. He is the highest person in the family by more than 2 centimeters. Like in our subgroup, we've already identified where the problem was. But perhaps so some other people will tell us. So where the problem, where a vocabulary error was. Okay, Helena?
So we should say he's the tallest person because we don't use the word high when we speak about people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about connotation.
And it's about, okay, so do all of you think that it's about connotation? Should we clarify the meaning of these words? Because somehow I saw that you kind of got stuck, yeah? So like you stumble at these words. So when we talk about collocations, so what is meant by a collocation? What is collocation?
Similar meaning, but different usage.
Okay, that's kind of like set phrase, yeah? So we always say Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. We never say Glad Christmas or Pleasant Christmas, yeah? These are like kind of lexical chunks or such a combination of words, yeah, words that always go hand in hand with each other. We always say that there was heavy rain, there were heavy bags, for example, yeah, but we never say that we carry difficult bags. We carry heavy bags. So that's why it means that so the word heavy is used in certain context with certain words. It is combined with certain words. That's why collocation, it's the ability of one word to combine with so a certain group of words and so and that enables them to exist together. It's impossible to say that we carry difficult bags, but we rather carry heavy bags. So that because we have such a collocation. The same about the height of the people. We say that somebody is tall, yeah, a person is tall, but for example, the fence is always high. Okay, so here we deal with the collocation. That's what I told you about, yeah, because like high should be combined with fences, tall should go about people. Whenever we are talking about register, it presupposes that we deal with what? Register.
Like formal, informal style.
Formal, informal style. That's why, in case if you, if being a foreigner, you enter a cafe and say, waiter, coffee, of course, you will be understood. But does it sound polite? Far from that. So how should you address a waiter for you to be polite, for you to use the proper register?
Like
Waiter, could you please, yeah, could you please come? Could you please bring me the menu or bring me a cup of coffee, for example? That's okay. Okay, Lisa, so do you have something to ask or something to tell us? No? No. So then colligation. So I see
I wanted to
Sorry, I interrupted someone, yeah?
Sorry, I have actually.
Okay,
I just wanted to add that we can ask of a waiter that would I like or would I could I have?
Could I have? Could I have? Yeah, thanks a lot, definitely. Then comes colligation. So quite a lot of students stumble at like the difference between collocation and colligation. So for you, I will provide you with one hint that will make you remember what is what. Let us compare the phrases like, for example, heavy rain and listen to. In case with listen to, will it be possible for us to say, so okay, I will listen him? No, because that will be a mistake. So we always use that listen in combination with to. So to say, in case with colligation, like in case with collocation, we are talking about the presence of certain words in the surrounding of another word so that this word could be used with them. Here comes a question that you will definitely address me with. Olena Yurina, then we don't see the difference between colligation and collocation. So colligation is more about the aspect of grammar. So listen should be followed by a preposition. That's the point here. It's more about grammar, yeah, or grammatical structure of the sentence. Collocation, like heavy rain, is more about the ability of a particular word, mainly the noun, or in most of the cases the noun, to be combined with some other words, yeah, so some other words around. For example, to be able to combine just with the adjective heavy, but not, for example, difficult, yeah, but not, for example, strong. Do you see the point? So collocation is more about lexical meaning, rather than a colligation is more about so a particular grammar structure or combination of the words within the sentence. And connotation, that's kind of like extra meaning or additional meaning. For example, so I provided my students in my classes, so with such example, I will just repeat it here. In stylistics, there are some examples of how we can address our fathers. So the most neutral word is father, father. It's the word that has just a semantic meaning or just denotation. It's neutral. There is nothing bad, nothing nothing very, very good about it. So it's more or less neutral. But if you call your father daddy, you will immediately add some extra meaning to it. Like you will show that you adore this person, that you love your father, that you are on good relations with him. Yeah. Whereas, for example, if you call your father, let it be governor, usually it's in the nature of teenagers to use such a slang, and they, for example, use so the word governor by saying, oh, I can't go out today because the governor won't let me do it. It means me, papashka, kind of, yeah? So won't let me do it. So it has some negative connotation. So to say, connotation is something that the word acquires. It's either positive or negative. Okay, now let's keep on analyzing the rest of the sentences. I think I will go to bed now. I'm feeling a little enervated. So what vocabulary error have you noticed here? I think I will go to bed now. I'm feeling a bit enervated. Okay. Cannot understand why I'm just raising my hand. Okay, so Anastasia.
Yeah, okay, good evening. In this sentence, I was thinking about I think I will go to bed now. I'm feeling a little tired, not enervated, because enervated means weakened or drained of energy, which is too strong in this context, but tired is the common and expected word. So I guess this is the connotation.
So that's that's not even about annotation. That's even more about register. Yeah, register, because enervated, that's like too formal word. Yeah, too formal. It's about register. And because of this register, the word acquires a bit different connotation. But you were on the right path. Thank you. Then the third one. It is an extremely good essay. The ideas in it are original and pretentious. Marina.
I think that pretentious is not suitable in this sentence because it has a negative meaning, which contradicts with the positive tone of the sentence. So the problem with connotation.
Okay, so the problem is definitely with connotation, negative connotation. Pretentious person is the one who pretends to be Mr. Know-all, yeah? So kind of like knowing everything. And so about everyone around. So that's why the original meaning of the sentence was the ideas in the essay are original and quite, for example, smart, but by using the word pretentious, we turn it into the word with an absolutely different connotation, negative connotation. Then her grandfather gave her a loving slap on her face. loving slap on her face. Loving, but slap on her face. Afruza.
Loving slap. We have to change to loving pet.
Pet, loving touch, for example, yeah, on her face.
Loving touch,
Loving
yeah.
touch.
And I think it is collocation.
Collocation, definitely.
Loving pet.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect job. Then every day I like to go footing after work. It's good exercise and it helps me to relax. I like to go footing after work. What's the problem here? Have you identified it? So footing comes obviously from foot. Yeah, that's kind of what? What is meant by footing? Anna.
Maybe it was meant something like running or jogging, but
Jogging.
we don't use the word footing. It's strange.
It was only borrowed from French because in French they have foot in like kind of this. So that means jogging. That is supposed to mean footing. That's supposed to mean jogging in English. Yeah, that's why. So here we have what kind of problem? It's the problem with wrong wrong collocation, because we do not say go footing, we say go jogging. That's how this collocation should sound. And the last one, she suggested me to take a break. Afruza again?
I think we have to change to suggested that I take, or yeah, because this is a grammatical mistake and it is collocation.
Yeah, so it's a combination, yes, a combination of certain words, so that stand for a particular grammar structure. So suggest should be followed either by ing form, suggested taking a break, or there should be suggested that we should take a break. Only on these conditions, so it will be correct. Tatiana, do you have a question? Or
Tell me please about sentence number 5. Can you put here, I like to go on foot? Would it be correct in this context? And can we, yeah?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It would be collocation, yeah?
So here it will be go on foot. We would change the structure, go on foot. Yeah, so that would deal with colligation. So perfect. Yeah. So thank you for such a suggestion. Yeah. So you are free to raise your hands, ask questions, because we are here to learn from each other. Thanks a lot for these suggestions. So thank you. So do you have questions now? Is it more or less clear to all of you now? Clear or not?
Clear, much more, because
Yes,
you can divide it, all these terms, yeah, into categories. And I understand why it's so important to know complex phrase and use them in such a way without changing something.
That was actually the so like that idea that I would like to lead you to, yeah? So so Tatiana has already framed that into the words. That's kind of conclusion. It's simply impossible, yeah, to work with the word in isolation. We should work with lexical chunks, words in the context, for us to understand whether it was adequately or inadequately used. So perfect. Thank you for the suggestion. Right now, let's come back to our slides. So we've already worked with a poll. So we already got to know what it means to know a word. And right now, I would also like to kind of like broaden, yeah, so broaden your outlook, so and like kind of enlarge on that knowledge that you already have on what it means to know a word. We've already mentioned that so each and every word has a denotative meaning, or so to say basic general meaning, but besides it has connotation, extra, either positive or negative meaning. So we've already discussed what colligation is. It's kind of certain structure that a sentence should stick to. For example, listen to, yeah, go on foot, but never by foot. So like that's a particular structure that should be remembered. Or for example, she's anxious about something, not of something. Yeah, so these are the structures that we learn just like this. Register, it's about the level of formality, informality. We should definitely know the lexical sets like hyponymy. For example, as a car is treated as a vehicle, then it's associated with some similar types of vehicles like bus, coach, and what lorry, for example. Besides, when we deal with the meaning of the word, we shouldn't forget about such a term as meronymy, because if we're talking about arm as part of the body, yeah, then so like what associations do we have in our head? We have associations with some other parts of our body, like, for example, leg, hand, or head. So we shouldn't forget about providing our students with synonyms and antonyms, so to say words with similar or opposite meaning. We shouldn't forget about lexical chunks such as phrasal verbs, because, for example, the verb to run has one meaning, and run out of money, for example, means to have no money on you. Collocations like heavy in heavy rain, or idioms to get cold feet, for example, when you are not welcome somewhere. Binomials, like these are the collocations in which, or set phrases in which, so that are used, so that are combined with the help of and, trial and error, yeah? Then, or other types of set phrases with figurative meaning, like that is quite different from direct, or so to say, or so-called literal meaning. Besides, we should provide our students with the knowledge on how the root can add affixes or prefixes in order to get the words with absolutely new meaning. For example, if you are helpful, then it means that you help other people. Oh, sorry. If you are helpless, then it means so that you cannot do anything about it and you are waiting for some other people to come to your rescue. So we shouldn't forget about transformations. In case if somebody says, suggest doing something, then usually it's presented with the help of such phrases, let's. Or if you may say, I want to do something, and it would sound the same as I'd like to do it. So drink something, eat something, whatever. And we shouldn't forget about some false friends of ours, because very often, especially if we have like the words that sound similar in Ukrainian and in English, like actual, it has nothing to do with актуальный, да? So because like so актуальный in Ukrainian will correlate with topical in English, but not actual. So that's what we as teachers should know. And that's what we should equip our learners with when we are dealing with the meaning of the word. Okay, then, whenever it comes to dealing with the word, remember that when we are talking about grammar, as well as when we are dealing with vocabulary, we shouldn't forget about the so-called CCQ questions, or concept checking questions. For example, like the previous time we met, we talked about how to use them, applying them to grammar phenomena. Today we will talk about how to apply them when we talk about vocabulary items. For example, we have a sentence, North Korea and the world have finally reached a ceasefire. And perhaps we are unaware of whether our students will understand what ceasefire means. That's why we should provide them with the following meaning, that so ceasefire means that we stop fighting for a moment to discuss peace. And in order to elicit that from them, so that, for example, you as a teacher did not provide them just with the correct version, you may elicit that from your students by using the following CCQs. Is North Korea in conflict with the world? Yes. Are they fighting now? No. Did they agree to stop fighting? Yes. Has the conflict been put on hold? Yes. Now let's have some kind of practice. Imagine that so you will need as teachers to explain it to your learners what it means to be on the same wavelength. First of all, let us think about the meaning. So I will not elicit that from you right now. Instead, I will use CCQs. Is it about a personality? Yes. Is it about different features? It's not about different, that's why no. Do you have a lot in common? Yes. That's why, what can be the meaning of this phrase, be on the same wavelength? What do you think it means?
To have a lot in common.
Yeah, definitely. To have a lot of similarities, yeah, or to have a lot of in common with other person or other people, definitely. Besides, so that's like we focused on meaning now, but we shouldn't forget about form and pronunciation. If talking about form, the structure of this phrase is be plus prepositional phrase. And if talking about pronunciation, you see that I deliberately added more stress and more value to certain words or parts of the words. So let us pronounce the sentence. Who'll do that? Who can do that? Oh, just don't be shy. Pay attention to these arcs, yeah, that will help you.
Can I try them?
Okay, do please.
We are on the same wavelengths.
Sure, we're, so like sounds as one word. We're on the same, you pronounce three words together because so like on and the are in weak position. That's why, so they should be linked to the to the word same, and we'll have on the same. And wavelength. So this part of the word is stressed. That's why length has less significance here. Yeah, that's how you should teach them. And then you will definitely ask your learners to repeat after you. It can be done individually in chorus. So like, and they should repeat for them, not to forget. So when it comes to dealing with with vocabulary, so we can't but mention that there are different ways of presenting vocabulary. So we can present vocabulary by or through pictograms and pictures, translation, using TPR activities, synonyms, antonyms, word building. So we can also get to know whether we understand what we are talking about through eliciting it from them, through chants or listening to some songs, through text. That's what I did the previous time we met, remember, because we were dealing with a story from which we've taken some phrases like I wish I had done, I wish I hadn't done. So it was done in the context of the text. That's how you can present this vocabulary. So I'm not going just to stop here because so that's definitely something that you already know. Instead, I'd like to to ask you the following thing. So do you remember what are the stages in working with vocabulary or on vocabulary? What are the stages? What should we do? How should we deal with vocabulary? Okay, we've like introduced or presented the vocabulary item. What comes next? What stage comes next?
Drilling.
Drilling, or we call it focused practice. And the last stage is known as
Productive stage.
Productive stage, communicative practice, productive stage, or creative stage. There are different words, but the meaning remains the same. And the first one so can be called just presentation or presentation and primary assimilation. Okay, I'd like to elicit something from you because I do know that you know a lot. Let us distribute these like activities that will be suggested into three groups. Activities that are associated with the stage of presentation or stage of focused practice or the stage of communicative or creative stage. So if you are asked to retell the story on behalf of somebody, like what stage is it associated with? Retell the story on behalf of. Від імені когось, да? Retell the story on behalf of. That's what?
Maybe focused practice.
Should it stay here?
Yeah.
Communicative practice.
Yes, it is.
So is it focused or communicative? Where should it be?
Communicative practice.
You should come up with an idea and then we tell.
Okay. Respond using new vocabulary items. Respond to my question, for example, using new vocabulary items.
Focused practice.
Presentation.
Presentation. Using new vocabulary items. They should be presented first. It should stay here. Then, brainstorm related words or creating mind maps. brainstorm related words or create, sorry, not creating, create mind maps.
Presentation.
Then provide example sentences with clues to infer meaning, to kind of elicit, infer meaning. Okay.
Presentation.
Also.
Provide example sentences with
Focused.
Okay, what should it be?
Presentation, no, like, so students should know.
Practice. So Darina says practice. So like you are talking about, oh, provide example sentences. Yeah, it's about practice to infer meaning. Okay.
Presentation.
So provide example sentences with clues. Where should I place it? This one.
In the middle.
Okay, let it stay here. Come up with your own ending of a story. Where should it be?
Communicative
Communicative practice.
Communicative practice.
Так, say the opposite. Say the opposite.
Presentation.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah, so we teach a new word by saying, okay, provide the opposite to it, so, and you'll be in the know what we are talking about. Paraphrase the sentences.
Practice. Focused practice.
Focused practice. Then make up sentences by analogy with given ones.
Focused practice.
Focused practice.
Say that you do the same. Somebody has mentioned something, or the teacher has mentioned something, and now, like, she addresses the learner and asks to say the same.
Focused practice.
Then tell us about the most memorable day in your life.
Communicative practice.
Read a list of words suggested and group them into categories.
Presentation.
Presentation.
Assimilation.
Read a list of words, so presentation. Then describe the picture using the word suggested.
Focused practice.
Here? Okay. Use images, flashcards, or realia to connect words to meaning.
Presentation.
Compare the texts you've read about working days of American teenagers and compare your own working day with them.
Focused practice.
Communicative.
What should it be? Focused or communicative?
It's communicative because students product by themselves.
Yeah, thank you. Fill in the blanks with the correct vocabulary word.
Focused practice.
So many people keep on writing, and I cannot just see it immediately. So correct vocabulary word. Focused practice. Okay, and now let us check. So we have two mistakes. Provide example sentences with clues to infer meaning. Where should it go?
It's presentation. Students only infer meaning from the sentences.
Describe the picture using the word suggested.
Communicative practice.
Let us check it now. Yeah, well done. Yeah, we're done with it. Okay. Do you have questions on this? Did it help you to recollect everything? What is done at each and every stage? Or perhaps you still have questions?
Can I ask about the task, say that you do the same? Can it be the presentation, like first assimilation, when students just, for example, do pronunciation?
By the way, yeah, so that depends. Yeah, that depends, like what's the context behind it. It can be either first assimilation, but not the presentation itself. Can be just first assimilation. Kind of receptive activity, or it can be focused practice in case, for example, if the students are making up meaningful sentences. Yeah, if, for example, the teacher provided them with the example, and then so they make up similar sentences that are true about themselves. Yeah, so that depends. Yeah, that's why more clarification should go behind. Definitely. So thank you for this question, because it's truly essential so to know it. Okay. Then, so the previous time we met, quite a lot of students asked me about the so-called, like test, teach, test, like lesson framework. Hopefully you still remember that whenever we are talking about language lesson, whenever we are talking about language lessons like teaching phonetics, teaching grammar, and teaching vocabulary, we have three language lesson frameworks. They are presentation, practice, production, when we just present the vocabulary, like for example, in case with this activity that we've dealt with, yeah. Then we just kind of clarify everything. Then we have controlled practice, and then we have freer practice or kind of like creative stage. Then we also dealt with text-based presentation because through the text about that Hungarian holiday when people throw everything out of their houses, so I managed to present how like this approach or this framework works. And I showed, so what's the difference between a traditional PPP approach and text-based presentation? And I remember that quite a lot of you had the question at the end of the lesson, Olena Yurievna, how test, teach, test works? What kind of framework is this? How can we apply it in our classroom? Now I'm going to present it to you. I will show that in practice, I will show it to you at work. Итак, imagine that you are like pre-intermediate students, because like the previous time we dealt with the lesson aimed at upper intermediate students. Now I will show how this test, teach, test works even for pre-intermediate learners, because quite a lot of you thought that it's simply impossible to apply this test, teach, test approach or framework to them. And I'd like to just imagine that we're having this class, and I'm addressing you with the following question. So what do we call this sign? What do we call this sign that you see on my slide? What do we call with this slide? This sign?
Emoticon.
Emoticon, or also emoji, smiley. Yeah, so there are different words associated with that. Who invented it? Perhaps you know. Maybe you remember like what was the year when it first appeared. Who coined the term emoticon? That was Scott Fahlman. And the emoticon appeared in 1982. What do we use it for? What do we use it for?
To show that it's okay for us, agree on something.
Yeah, to show our emotions, express our emotions. Do you know any other emoticons? For what emotions? To show that you are sad, angry, bored. Yeah, do we have emoticons for these emotions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Now, so there will be the task for the first test. Usually, for example, when it's done, when it's done for the pre-intermediate students, so you can suggest as a teacher them working in breakout rooms, because that's the time for the first test. You set a task to them. They work on their own without being provided with any assistance. And the test here sounds like, so work in groups, match the emoticons with the words in the box. So, and kind of just like sign beneath each emoticon what it stands for. Of course, we are not preschool, we are not like pre-intermediate learners. That's why I believe that we shouldn't waste so much time on it. We won't be assigned into breakout rooms. We will do it right now. Just tell me what words are associated with these emoticons. The first one.
In a good mood.
Good mood. Then B.
Surprised.
Surprised.
Surprised. C.
Scared.
Okay, so let it be scared. Then here we have in a bad mood, excited, disappointed. What comes next?
Worried.
Worried. Then
angry.
angry. And
Embarrassed.
embarrassed. Now let's check. So because after dealing with such a test, yeah, so the teacher is supposed to provide a feedback. Okay, so where your guess is correct? Yeah, so I remember that some of you has mentioned that so this emoticon should be associated with the person being in a good mood, definitely. Here we have surprised, then scared, worried, angry, and embarrassed. So that's where, like, that was the time for the first test. Where, like, the student, like, not you, but just imagine that you are in the shoes of these, so pre-intermediate learners. So did I, as a teacher, tell you something beforehand? So did I provide you with a clear explanation of what each of these words or word combinations associated with emotions stand for? Did I provide you with this idea? No, I did not clarify anything. I let you work on this on your own. And only after you had a discussion with your group mates, and so you've come back, and then we were checking, and now I, as a teacher, am going to provide you with the feedback. Luckily for me, unfortunately for me, so you knew everything. That's why, so there is nothing much to be corrected. But in case, if your learners do make mistakes, then so that's where like you as a teacher should intervene and provide them so with the explanation of what was correct and what was incorrect. Okay. Then comes the time so for the teacher's explanation. So after you provided the feedback on this first test, comes the time for you to work with the pronunciation of these words. As a teacher, you should tell them that whenever we are pronouncing these adjectives associated with emotions, they have a certain stress pattern. For example, we have angry. So like that syllable that is more stressed, yeah, should be given like should be given a bigger dot. The one that is unstressed, that is in weaker position, so like will be denoted with the help of much smaller dot. That's why we have angry. Here we have embarrassed. And you will ask them to pronounce the words after you. Here we have relaxed. You see that in spite of the fact that in spelling we should seemingly have 3 vowels, in pronunciation, in our transcription, there will be the place just for 2 vowel sounds, re and le. Relaxed. That's why we have 2 syllables in the word, not 3. And here we have in a good mood. Now I will ask you to work on your own, and I will ask you to write or to think of what other word combinations should go into these columns. Mind that there will be 3 extra words. So take your time. We have such words as here. Okay, I will not pronounce them because thus I will help you. Okay. Perhaps there is someone willing to tell me so how we should pronounce these words. Is there any volunteer or volunteers? Are there any volunteers? Okay.
Maybe I can some of them.
Thank you.
Yeah. In a bad mood, I think it's the last one.
In the 4th column, right you are.
Bored, first one. Stressed,
Here.
only first syllable. Worried, also the first one, the first column.
Worried. Worried.
Worried. Mm-hmm. Scared, also first column. Scared. Mm-hmm.
Then
Stressed, I'm not sure. Maybe also first one, stressed.
okay, so we'll see the current not as I'm just listening to you. Then
Surprised, the second one.
surprised, absolutely agree. Then
Excited, also second. Disappointed,
where should it go?
maybe the last column. Disappointed. And nervous. First one, nervous.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being a volunteer, for being not quite shy. Katyush, and now could you please have a look at so these instruction once again. There are 3 extra
Yes, I just read it.
Yeah, that's why. So there are 3 words that shouldn't be matched to any of these columns. What are they? Okay, once again. In a bad mood. In a bad mood. Correct. Then, bored. Bored. Bored.
We have just
Correct.
one.
Just
What is true about it? Bored.
Just one
One
syllable.
syllable.
Then, worried. Worried. Worried should go here.
First one.
Scared. Scared.
Also one syllable.
Also one syllable.
Stressed. Stressed.
Also one syllable.
Yeah, you found the answers to your questions. That's here. Yeah. Here we have nervous, worried, but we have 2 syllables, with the first being first of them being stressed. Here we have excited. Here we pronounce this ed. That's why excited. We cannot just we cannot omit using this vowel sound here. Excited. Here we have surprised. Surprised. Here it's st, that's why only 2 syllables. And in a bad mood, disappointed. Yeah, that's why bored, then scared, and stressed do not match any of these columns. Okay, now a new task. So yeah, so that's how I worked, as far as you understood, with the pronunciation of these words. Now, thanks to this slide, I believe you will understand why it's so essential while working on grammar or on vocabulary to deal with pronunciation, because even you, advanced level students, can fall into a trap. So, and I saw that you kind of had doubts. Here I would like also to draw your attention to the prepositions. These adjectives should go with. Okay, so it's not a test, it's just the time for you to consider what adjectives should be used with what prepositions. What will we dwell upon here? We've already worked on preposition. What will we work with here? We will focus on what? Focus on, we have meaning, form, pronunciation. We talked about pronunciation. What will we be dealing with here?
Form.
Form or the structure. Thanks a lot. Then, okay, just take your time for a minute or 2, because I believe that you are advanced enough. You won't need that much time. Just think of how you should combine these adjectives. So, and what prepositions should you combine these adjectives with? Так. Okay, thank you, Darina. What should go with? Okay, which of these adjectives should be combined with preposition?
Angry.
Bored.
So angry, angry with or angry at? Tell me, please.
Both options are possible.
Yeah, but and here comes one more question. We as teachers need to clarify that. Where is it possible to use angry with and when it's possible to use angry at? Could you please specify? Okay, Tatiana Orlova.
Angry with it's when we talk about person, and angry at when we talk about the thing.
For example, I'm angry with you at not being polite because you were not polite, yeah? Angry at something, but with somebody, right? Yeah, thanks a lot. Then what else should come with? Maria?
Surprised with.
Could you please repeat?
Surprised with.
Surprised with them. Thanks a lot. Surprised with. Do all of you agree? Surprised with. Do all of you agree? We're usually surprised.
Surprised about?
Surprised.
At. Sorry.
Usually surprised at. Okay. Then perhaps I will show that slide to you because I see that you have a lot of confusion even here. We can be angry with somebody, but so angry so at something. Disappointed with, bored with, scared of something, embarrassed, worried, nervous, excited, relaxed about something, and surprised at. Now, for example, I do understand that perhaps like these words will not cause any confusion on behalf of you, just if talking about the meaning of these words. But for pre-intermediate learners, there will definitely be a question as to what the word embarrassed stands for. How would you clarify the meaning of these, of this adjective? What do you think should be done by the teacher to clarify the meaning? The best option will be CCQ questions. Let us now think together about the possible CCQs. So if a person is embarrassed, let us think of possible CCQ questions.
We can ask like, is it positive feeling or is it negative feeling? Like it's
just do not give all both of them at once.
Yeah.
Is it positive feeling? And wait for their reply. For example, no. Is it a negative feeling? Yes. Then what comes next? Or you may say, are you happy about this? For example, yeah, are you happy when you are embarrassed? No. What comes next? What can come next? Would you like, for example, to avoid being in this situation? Yeah. What else can be asked? Think of the possible CCQs. Are you confident? No. Do you feel nervous? Yes. Do you feel uncomfortable? Yes. Do other people see it? Definitely. For example, are you interested in what other people think about you at the moment? Definitely, because otherwise you wouldn't be embarrassed. Are your cheeks red because of it? Sure. Are they now well aware of the meaning of what embarrassed is? Without translating the word, you've already explained that that's a feeling when a person feels inconfident, feels quite uncomfortable. So it's going on in front of the other people. That's the situation that makes, for example, your cheeks feel red or be red. And so you do not quite confident, you do not want all the people to see that you are in such a condition, but unfortunately, currently, nothing can be done about it. Yeah, that's how we will explain the meaning of embarrassed, for example. Yeah, or if talking, for example, about the meaning of the word worried, the meaning of the word worried, then so you may also clarify that through a number of CCQ questions, like for example, so do I feel happy? No. Do I feel that something bad might happen to me or somebody else? Definitely. So do I think of that all the time? Yeah, if you are worried, then it's like a constant condition it's a condition you are constantly in. Will I feel better, for example, if I, for example, like if it happened because of like your son being at war, or if it happened just because of your relative being in the hospital, so you may also keep some extra, add some extra question or ask some extra question. Will I feel much better if, for example, my son or my relative is at home? Of course, yes. Yeah, much also will depend on the context that can be provided. So especially if this word can be taken from the text. Okay, let's come to the next stage. So here is the time for test number 2. Actually, we were dealing with the first test at the very beginning when, without providing any explanation, the teacher set the task of dealing with the test. And then he provided the feedback, and only after it proceeded dealing with explanation on pronunciation, then the form, and then the meaning of the words. After it, that's the time for the second test. Now, when you provided the clarification, it's the time for you as a teacher to check how well your students understood the material. And you can give them, so the second test, you can again send them, assign them in breakout rooms, or split them up into teams, and so provide them with this handout where you will say, just work for, let it be 4 or 5 minutes, so it depends on this task, and just underline the correct alternatives. Okay, I will not assign you into breakout rooms. There is no need for that. I believe that we will deal with the task immediately. So I felt very excited or worried about my exam because I didn't study very much.
Worried.
Mm-hmm. She was bored or stressed because there was nothing to do.
What?
Bored.
Bored, yeah, you are bored when you have nothing to do. We were disappointed or scared because when we got to the museum, it was closed.
Disappointed.
Disappointed.
The workers were embarrassed or angry that the boss didn't pay them for over 2 weeks.
Angry.
Angry.
I was really surprised or relaxed to see her because I thought she was on holiday.
Surprised.
Definitely. His team won the match, so he was excited or in a good mood.
Excited.
In a good mood.
So team won the match. He was very like you can be actually you can be like excited just because like excitement means that you are overwhelmed with some positive emotions. Yeah, she was bored or in a bad mood because her manager shouted at her.
In a bad mood.
In a bad mood.
Yeah, and the last one, when I last did an exam, I was stressed or disappointed for weeks before it.
Rest.
Okay, now let's check if we did a good job. We definitely did it, yeah? Excited, in a bad mood, stressed, angry. By the way, so how the results of this test 2 can be checked? Either in plenary, like I did, so yeah, or for example, so it can be kind of peer check when the teacher can provide the students with the correct answer somewhere on the blackboard or in the chat or on a separate, like in a separate document, so and give it for the students so that they could follow and either peer checked each other or self-checked each other. That depends. Yeah, that depends. So that's how like this so test 2 works. Now that's the time for And actually this test too marked the stage of focused practice. Here, like now we will deal with the last one, creative stage, in which so you'll be asked, you will ask your learners to work so on the material using the adjectives that we've learned. So how can it be done? Again, you can assign them if it's a distant or like online lesson. You can assign them in breakout rooms, for example, in pairs, not necessarily in teams. They can work in pairs, and you can ask them. So, could you please discuss the following questions with your and suggest the answers for the following questions, and then compare the results. So, if you have the similar results with your friend, and so come up with what is similar, what is different. Be ready to provide comments on why it's so. And it will mark the creative stage. For example, how do you normally feel if there is football on TV? For example, I will say excited, somebody will say bored. Why? Just because, for example, one likes football, one of us likes football, the other one hates it, yeah? And in a similar way, all the other questions should be answered. For example, how do you feel just before an important exam? For example, stressed. If you can't remember someone's name, I feel embarrassed. With people you don't know well, for example, not quite comfortable. Yeah, when you finish school or work, if your English lesson is cancelled, and so on and so forth. Okay, and if we come back to that structure, yeah, of the lesson, test, teach, test. Once again, let us recollect, yeah, what activities of mine were suggested to match each of these stages. Where was the time for the lead-in? Recollect.
Picture of the emoticon and
Emoticon, yeah. So
what
yeah,
it
and
is.
the discussion, yeah. So discussion, what emotion, like what is emoticon, what for do we need this emoji, or smileys. Then the first test, during the first test, what did they deal with?
Matching the pictures with the words.
Definitely, yeah. Then, and later I provided, yeah, you, because you acted in the shoes of the learners. I provided you with the feedback, and I proceeded to this teaching stage with language clarification, with clarification of the pronunciation, highlighting the meaning of the words, so drilling it. Then there was the time for the second test. Remember, it was it was here. Yeah, it was here when you were supposed to deal once again, yeah, with this material, but after my clarification was provided. Then, and freer practice, it corresponds to what?
The question for discussion.
Yeah, questions for discussion when you were asked to work with your partner, for example, yeah, and compare the results, providing also some comments why you feel like this and your partner feels different in this context or in this situation. Okay, is it now clear how it works? Would you like to give it a try? Because it seems to me you've never tried this framework. Do you consider it to be effective?
I think yes, especially for teacher, because you can see the progress and the initial knowledge and after the lesson. So I think it will be useful.
So is the usage of this test at the very beginning justified? What do you think of it? Because the framework approach is called test, teach, test. Is it justified to give it even to the young learners? No, not young learners, but maybe pre-intermediate learners. So this test immediately at the very beginning without providing them with any explanation. Is it justified?
Yes, if it is not stressful for them.
Okay, it can be even stressful. It can be even complex. The idea here is that we are not going to put any marks. And that's what should be said to all the students before they start dealing with this test. Yeah. First of all, you should provide them with clear instructions. Besides, so you should stress upon or highlight upon the fact that even in case if they make some mistakes, so they won't be punished. Yeah. And like personally for me, it seems to me that it's quite good to start with a test. Why? Just because, for example, maybe I am that kind of learner that in case if I don't know something, I will be so eager to know the correct answers that it will act as the stimulus or that will motivate me to dealing with the material, learning better, listening to the teacher in order to find out all those answers to the questions that I had while dealing with the test. So that's how it works. Now you have like a clear picture of how all these three language lesson frameworks work. Presentation, practice, production, the most traditional one that is constantly applied at schools. Text-based presentation that was introduced to me during the previous class of ours. And now we dealt with the third one, test, teach, test. Which of these three, do you consider to be like, to be that kind of framework that you will definitely use in your classroom? Which of these three did you like the most?
Of course, PPP is traditional and I think comfortable for all of us. But I'd like to try test, teach, test because you show how it works, really. And so it gives us opportunity to try our hands in it.
Okay,
So I will choose TTT.
TTT, thank you a lot. Any other ideas? Any other suggestions, comments from you, takeaways of the lesson? Because that's like with what we will quit. So I planned to give you one more activity, but actually, so we're just pressed for time. That's why I will have to stop here. Okay, Marina?
I really like this TTT approach because it enables us to check the previous knowledge of our students to just tailor it to their needs in learning. So I would like to try it, and thank you so much for clarifying all the questions concerning it.
So obviously you've heard previously, yeah, about this approach, but you never tried it and you like were not fully aware of how it could work, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that now after this clarification, you no longer have these questions and you'll be able to use that effectively in your own classroom and during your classes. Okay, with this we will quit. Thanks a lot for your diligence. I'm especially thankful to all those who raised their hands and talks, to all those who kept on texting something in the chat. So I appreciate that immensely. Sorry, perhaps I did not like respond so at the right moment because I was both listening, commenting, reading, sorting out, still checking what was in the chat. But I do see that a lot of you worked and I do appreciate all your efforts. During the next class of ours, we will start dealing with developing receptive skills. Namely, we will deal with listening. Hopefully, there are a lot of things, a lot of aces that I still have up the sleeve for me to surprise you. And hopefully, you will not feel disappointed. Yeah, so being present and being the participants at our sessions. Okay, so thank you all today. Good luck to all of you. See you in a week. Wait for the tasks, like pre-session tasks, to be left in the on the site. So thank you once again, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening.
Bye.